Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another video. This time is the SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Grease Perfect Kingdom from the V Cinema. So, if you've been following Build or if you're a big fan of Build, you might like some of the designs. This one is definitely out there. And at first I was like, but after playing with the toy, I actually really enjoy it, especially after watching the movie too. It gives you a lot more inspiration and things to look forward to. Now, again, some people may not like the design. Me personally, it has definitely grown on me. I only somewhat liked it, but now I definitely enjoy it a lot more. But is it my favorite Grease design? No. My favorite Grease design is still Grease Blizzard. I absolutely love that design. But we're going to jump into this. Now, as far as our look, we have an amalgamation of the 3 followers that Grease had. And we pretty much adopt their color scheme for what's going on. You have the gold, you have the red, you have the blue. And they definitely brought out very nicely with the hints of silver and black. I really like it on this design. I think it really works here. Now, we also take some of their features. So we'll have the sword setting, the pauldrons, and the backpack. So, yeah. Anyway, let's jump into the actual toy. Now, as far as the look goes, you've seen it already a million times. So articulation-wise, it gets a little tricky here because the backpack definitely takes up space as well as these arm pauldrons. And then we have our slicer and dicers here, which also take up space. So it's hard to maneuver, so hopefully I can give you some guys tips on how to work around these things articulation-wise and make it look good too. Our head can go up, it can look down, and by looking down, it's pretty much just straightforward, but you can adjust ever so slightly. The pointiness of the bottom of the neck means you may want to get some SHF neck pegs in case you want that extra extended articulation. But otherwise, I think it actually looks good for what we have going on here. Now we have our side pauldrons, and they are attached to the shoulders, which actually come out pretty well and decently far. As you can see, I've extended them out. These can actually extend and rotate. Well, not extend, sorry. These can actually rotate 360 degrees with no problem, as you see I'm doing here. So when you're doing certain things and certain moves, you can make it look right. But the shoulders actually do rotate to help you with that articulation. So we can actually rotate forward and backwards and go back, forward, in and out. We also can pull the arm out just a tad bit, just to give you that extra bit of range that holds in place and locks in that articulation. Our arms, let me actually take this out. Our arms can lift all the way up normally if you move the pauldrons ever so slightly out the way so that it does not hinder too much articulation. They're also double jointed, but because of the armor here on the side, if you don't line it up, you won't get that full extension, as you can see here. And your forearm blades can actually swivel. So there's a swivel here for them, so you can actually have them rotate. We actually get our standard SHF rotation on the ball joint. It's only going to be hindered a little bit by the sword, not completely. So all while it looks like a hot mess of a design, they made it so that it's not too hindered in terms of articulation, which is actually pretty cool. For our upper torso stuff, we have your standard SHF upper torso articulation. All the build stuff can go stretch backwards pretty well. There is a piece right here in the front that allows you to tuck in, which hopefully allows you to go forward just ever so slightly as you tuck in under the belt. And you can still tilt side to side. So when you're posing them up, you shouldn't have too many issues. Our legs use the drop down method on the technical 2.0 slash body, not the renewal body. And as you can see, it's double jointed. You have a very little ankle pivot, but you still have some. And then you still have toe pivot, and you have a swivel. So as I was pointing out, our articulation looks hindered, but it actually holds up pretty well with this guy. So that way you can still get him posed up in some really good poses like now. So Grease Perfect Kingdom photographs beautifully, poses beautifully, and has a really crazy out there design. So if this hits all your spots, this might be for you because it's definitely one that lacks in terms of accessories. So while we get all this look-wise, this is definitely for people who are a Grease fan or a completionist of your lines that you're collecting. It is not an essential, but it definitely is nice to have. Now, his Grease Perfect Kingdom bottle is actually removable, as you see I've done here. So I'll zoom that in, voila. This can actually come down, so you can actually do the henshin formation should you have the other ones that want to do the henshin to one form to another. The bottle is also removable as well. So if you want to do a finisher, put it in a different weapon, anything like that, you have the ability to. And it slides right back in the belt and holds up. Now, what's crazy about this is, again, this is definitely a design that grew on me. I wasn't initially for it, but I was like, you know what? Let me just see how I feel about it. And then the more I saw it, the more pictures that I saw kind of pop up on the Tamashii website, the more I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to give it a shot. And then by the time I saw the V Cinema, I was like, yeah, definitely glad I pre-ordered this. So I ended up liking it a lot. Sorry for that, the focus part. Now, accessory-wise, he falls short because he doesn't do too much. It is a final form for a V Cinema, so he doesn't come with too many accessories. You have the open palm hands. These are open, relaxed, or action palms, depending on what you want to do. You have his signature pointing henshin hand, which I think is really cool that they added this one, huh? Ooh. And you have the dog tag hand, which is when he uses this to hold forward and throw up in the air when he does the finisher for his friends. Now, what's crazy about this is you don't get a hand for the driver, which I thought was crazy, and they should have included it, but it is not included. I think that was a big mistake on their end, because he definitely still uses his driver as a finisher, and they could have easily repainted that one. So I think that's one of the drawbacks. There's no signature weapon. You don't get any effects. But all in all, like I said, if you're a completionist, this may definitely be for you. If not, it's an easy pass. But I ended up liking mine. So hopefully you just like watching this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand him straight up, and I'm going to show you guys size comparison. Now, again, when you're posing this guy up, don't forget to rotate and pull out all the joints so you can actually make sure that you get the best form of articulation from this guy. Because if you just try to move things around, joints will lock up. You don't want that. So let's stand you straight back. Stand you up straight as possible. Get them hands clear. There we go. And then we're going to get this guy, see how he looks up with some other figures. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to compare him to his signature form and what was previously his super form, which is Grease Blizzard. So as you can see, this guy actually looks really good. Design-wise, he's stayed pretty sturdy in terms of color, but technically now he's adopted all of his previous colors, which I thought was also pretty cool too. It's a motif towards that as well. Now, I'm going to move these guys out of the way. Then I'm going to jump into how he looks with Magma and Rogue and Rabbit Rabbit. So you can see where he stacks up with these guys. All in all, I think he looks pretty good. Super form wise, I think it's really stacking up. I think the only thing we're missing now is basically Rogue Prime and Genius. But they've shown Genius, they've shown Rogue Prime. When will they come? Who knows? They may never come. You never know at this point. Also, here he is next to a renewal, so SHFOs. And then just in case you want to see him next to a non-build SHF, Kamen Rider wise, here he is with Gates. So we have that. Next up, we're going to do a Shotgun Combatant, which I've previously dug all of mine out of the attic, so I'm very happy about that. Then we have 1000 Toys Synthetic Human. This one I've mixed up some parts on, and I've had a good time with that. We're going to do a Hasbro Lightning Collection Zeo Blue, and we're going to do a 1000 Toys Dante. So you can see that this guy's pretty stacked up pretty well. I mean, even with the American stuff, I think that these guys scale pretty well enough. So that way, either in action shoots or anything that's not a neutral vanilla stance, you'll do just fine. Here he is with a Snake Eyes from Hasbro and a Marvel Legends Spider-Man. Oop, let's fix that foot. Then we have an Articulated Icons Ninja. Last but not least, a Mezco Gomez to show you some size comparison with a slightly bigger scale. Voila. Last but not least, I'm going to throw a Mythic Legions in the background because he is normally taller than everyone else. So you can see that he's taller than Grease, almost by a head. Not from horn to head, but just the tip of the helmet. But this has been a nice and quick, subtle review. I've actually enjoyed photographing this guy. It's been exceptional fun. And hopefully you guys can enjoy it too. This is one of those things where being a web shop actually, I think this actually works being a web shop. Considering if you're a casual Kamen Rider fan and you may want to pass on this guy, it's okay. But if you are a fan like I am and kind of want a majority of them, the biggest issue you'll have is that because he is web shop, he'll cost you a little more. Hopefully, you know, not too much more. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you found it informative. And as always, guys, be good, do good, drink your water. Later.